I don't need this anymore. I'm not in Illinois. I'm in Iowa now for Memorial Day weekend, and the state of Iowa is pretty much completely open at this point. They're starting to allow people to dine in at restaurants. Bars are starting to open up. Haircut salons, barbershops are open. It's amazing. I don't need this. I want to go for a bike ride today. I recently purchased this bike from a friend. It's a really nice racing bike. So I'm going to take it out today. I'm currently in Spirit Lake, Iowa, also known as the Iowa Great Lakes region. It's a vacation resort spot. I actually grew up here. My parents still live here, and I'm in town for Memorial Day. So this is a map of the Iowa Great Lakes. This is Big Spirit Lake at the top, East Lake Okoboji that kind of winds its way down here, and then this is West Lake Okoboji right here where Arnolds Park Amusement Park is located at. I'm right up here at the northern part of East Lake Okoboji, and the bike trail is everything in red here, so you can actually bike all the way around Big Spirit Lake and all the way down to Milford if you so choose. And to give you guys a geographic location, kind of a geographic point of where the Great Lakes region is located, the Minnesota border is actually right here at the top of Big Spirit Lake. So this is where Iowa is, and then Minnesota just north of Big Spirit Lake. And it's located in the northwest corner of the state of Iowa. It's the largest natural lake chain in the entire state. All right, let's take her out. And we're off. I really don't recommend biking and vlogging at the same time. I don't know how Casey Neistat does this, but I'm gonna do a little bit on and off, but I'll mainly be vlogging when I stop at places. But it is cool biking in the old neighborhood that I grew up in, where I used to bike around.
And here's a cool view of the Spirit Lake water tower right there ahead. It's got some sailboats in it to go with the lake theme. I wish the sun was out a little bit today. This whole week so far has been overcast, which is very unusual for this area this time of year. But at least it's not raining, so could be worse, but it is a little bit cloudy and a little bit cool. You can see that the playground they have along the bike trail right here, they still got the caution tape around the playground equipment. Even though restaurants, bars, barbershops, retail stores are starting to open here, they still have playgrounds caution taped off. But the trails are still open, so we'll keep heading this way, still in Spirit Lake. So you can see they've got these kiosks with maps of the Dickinson County recreational trails outlined here in red. I'm still way up here in Spirit Lake. Today I want to try to get down at least to the bridge that separates East Lake Okoboji and West Lake Okoboji. But if you don't have a working app or a phone connection, they do have these kiosks that are located along the trail to help guide you. Also, it looks like the trail closes at 11 p.m., which is kind of random because the sun goes down at like 8:30 right now, but it is what it is. You can also see the drinking fountains along the trail are taped off and out of use. I love this segment of the trail. It gets really pretty. You go through a lot of wetlands, trees, forests, more into the wilderness here. It's pretty cool. This really brings back memories. I used to bike on this all the time as an adolescent into my teenage years. It's been about 10 years since I've actually biked this. So this is really exciting for me. It brings back a lot of memories. Hard to believe, but 15 years ago, none of these houses were here. This was all an open cornfield. Had to stop and take a look at the sign here in front of the YMCA. Be safe and God bless. I used to work out here when I moved back home from college for a little while. It's a fairly new gym. And I see a lot of cars parked, so they may be open. I don't know. Things might be opening up. I had to stop and tell a story. There's a main road that usually has pretty heavy traffic just on the other side of that stop sign. You'll see a car go by right here in a second. About 6 or 7 years ago, on Christmas Eve, I was driving to church service at night for the Christmas Eve service in my old 2004 Pontiac Bonneville, and a deer jumped out in front of me right here on this stretch of road, and I plowed right through it and had some pretty significant car damage. Had to pull over, and the funny part was my dad and my parents and my grandparents were all driving in the minivan right behind me. My dad made a comment and kind of laughed, "Oh, looks like somebody hit a deer." And that was me. That person was me. So just some, not a fond memory, but a memory nonetheless that took place on this very stretch of road right here that the bike trail passes by. And we're actually passing into Okoboji now. Spirit Lake is behind us. Now we are getting into Okoboji and getting into more of the touristy area of the lakes region. All right, so we've left the wooded part of the trail. We're heading into the heart of the tourist district, I guess you could call it, the touristy region of Okoboji. Right up here is Highway 71. This is the main strip that goes through the heart of Okoboji and the Iowa Great Lakes region. Right here is the Barn Swallow. This is a popular gift shop here in Okoboji. It's been there as far as I can remember, since the mid-90s. It's a great place to do some shopping. Here's a view of East Lake Okoboji. It's getting a little windy out, so I don't know how well the mic is going to pick up my voice. Just taking a little breather off the side of the trail. You can see right here, this is Highway 71. This is one of the more busy roads here in Okoboji. You can see I chose the appropriate water bottle for my venture today. The University of Okoboji. You can see the trail takes a little bit of a back route behind a few businesses and a little bit away from the highway. There's a donut place called Spud Nuts that opened up a couple years ago. That's pretty good. And I think we're going right by one of the boat marinas up here too. Hey. Just saw a Bears fan for a little Chicago represent there. All right, and this is what I came for. This is the highlight of the trail for me, is this old railroad bridge that they turned into part of the trail. And this is the dividing marker between East Lake and West Lake. So this is the bridge that divides East Lake Okoboji over there, West Lake Okoboji over there. All right, so here I am standing on the famous railroad bridge here in the heart of Okoboji, Iowa. See a lot of boats here by the Marina passing underneath me. And this is West Lake Okoboji, way over there in the distance. You can see Arnolds Park Amusement Park right over there. That is one of the oldest continuously operated amusement parks in the world. Right there. In fact, that roller coaster has been running since 1930. This place holds a very special place in my heart. I absolutely love Arnolds Park Amusement Park. I've been going there since I was 10 years old. I've ridden that roller coaster hundreds of times. It's sitting right there on the lake shores of West Lake Okoboji. On the other side of the bridge is East Lake Okoboji. East Lake is a little bit quieter. It's more of a residential lake. There are a few restaurants and bars located along the lakeshore. You can see a few have opened actually straight ahead here. I think there might actually be some water slides, which is pretty crazy. That I don't remember ever seeing that, so that might be something I have to check out this week. Pretty awesome though. I love this bridge. In fact, I'm not going to jump off of it today, but it's kind of a popular spot for younger people, teenagers, to take a dive, jump off the bridge into the water. Like I said, I'm not going to do that today.
Memorial Day weekend is, again, when tourist season starts. So there's a lot of boats on the lake, usually starting in Memorial Day weekend. Now, it's going to be interesting this year with the pandemic, whether or not that we get a lot of crowds. I guess I'll have to wait and see. But anyway, this is the heart of Okoboji, the famous railroad bridge, turnpike trail. And I'm going to keep plugging away. I'm going to keep moving ahead into Arnolds Park. Like I said, the amusement park over here is one of the oldest amusement parks, maybe not in the world, but definitely in North America. It's been operating as some type of amusement park since the late 1800s, the 1890s, I think, is when they got their start there. And it's still open today. It almost closed in the mid-90s. In the mid-90s, they almost sold it to be turned into condominiums, but the community here, the town, pulled together, came up with money to save the park, and it still stands here today. And it's actually going under some renovations currently to hopefully make it an even better park for people tomorrow and moving into the future. It's surprising not to see a lot of people fishing off this bridge. Usually there's a lot of people fishing off the side of it. There's a couple people down here, I guess. Doing a little bit of fishing, but usually there's like dozens of people up here on the bridge fishing for walleye, bass, crappie, maybe even some muskie or northern pike. We get a lot of those here. Here's the sign. The city of Okoboji. I'm actually going backwards. I came from Okoboji, now we're heading towards Arnolds Park, but there is the official sign. The city of Okoboji. We are in the heart of the Iowa Great Lakes, moving towards Arnolds Park. Now, Arnolds Park is both a township and an amusement park. It's also where a lot of bars are located, restaurants, some beaches, a lot of hotels and condominiums. So we're going to be heading that way, following the Iowa Great Lakes Trail. Let's go. All right, let's take this tunnel towards the beach. Echo! Look at this. Whew. Just like that, we are on the shores of West Lake Okoboji. It's a little beach right along the trail. You can see there's another path that goes up on the western side of Highway 71 for a lot of foot traffic. Again, this is a popular tourist area in the summertime. There's a lot of bars over by the amusement park and along Highway 71 here. So it's a popular spot for young people to come to, rent cabins, party it up in the summertime. But here is the shores of West Lake Okoboji, and it's also unique. It's a very clear watered lake. There's a lot of people that say this is one of the few natural clear water lakes in the world. That might be up for dispute, but take a look at this water. It's definitely very clear. This is also the second largest natural lake in the state of Iowa, and I believe it is the deepest, reaching depths of almost 130 feet. In fact, they teach scuba diving classes here. I've always wanted to try that. I've never scuba dived in my life. It's a bucket list item. One of these days I want to, I'd like to learn how to scuba dive. You can see a lot of wind turbines way off there, west of the lake. There's a lot of wind turbine farms throughout this area. In fact, this is one of the windiest places in the United States. It's called, this landform called Buffalo Ridge, I believe is the name. It's like a plateau, a landform here in northwest Iowa, southwest Minnesota, and northeast South Dakota. And the wind tends to blow over this natural plateau and across the prairies. So we tend to have a lot of wind. Wind turbines are extremely popular here. In fact, Spirit Lake Elementary School, where I went to school for a couple years, is the very first school to be ever powered by a wind turbine. We've had a wind turbine there powering the school since 1993. Some just unique things about this region here in northwest Iowa. All right. Actually, before I hit the trail, if you look up here, you'll see this Arnolds Park sign.
But you can see right there where it says welcome to Arnolds Park, there's a little bit of dark history that happened right along that spot and throughout the Iowa Great Lakes region. Back in 1858, there was a Native American uprising. A renegade band of Lakota Sioux Indians slaughtered, I think, at least 40 settlers throughout this Great Lakes region, and one of the cabins was located right there next to the shores of West Lake Okoboji, pretty much where that Welcome to Arnolds Park sign is located at. There was a family, European family back in 1858 that was completely slaughtered by a renegade band of Lakota Sioux. I'm not going to get too much into that history today. There's actually a museum and some of the surviving cabins still located in this region. The Abby Gardner cabin is actually located just past Arnolds Park Amusement Park, and they have a museum dedicated to that historic tragedy. To this day, this is still the largest mass killing that has ever taken place in the entire history of the state of Iowa. Happened here in the Iowa Great Lakes, the Spirit Lake Massacre. I'll get into that later on a separate vlog though. Just wanted to show you guys that's where one of the cabins was located at. A lot of history in this area. This weird looking building along Highway 71, it used to be painted white and blue and resembled like a giant ice cube. That used to be a bike shop. That's actually where I got one of my first mountain bikes when I was 10 years old back in 1997, was here in that building. I always thought it was just such a weird design. It used to look like a big ice cube. Now it kind of looks like a melting piece of fudge. All right, so this is the main strip here at Arnolds Park. There's a lot of clubs, bars, nightclubs across the street here. And it looks like they're starting to open up, which is awesome. It's something I haven't seen in almost 3 months anywhere in the US so far. Illinois is still shut down for the foreseeable future. But this is a really popular strip in the summertime. All these are raving bars, draw hundreds of people well into through Labor Day weekend. And you can see up ahead is where Arnolds Park Amusement Park, the promenade starts. We used to joke as kids growing up here how weird this whole strip was, because you have a strip club there, Boji Nights, you have a church camp or some kind of religious building across the street from that, and then over here, I'm not even kidding, you have the Okoboji Middle School. So if you went to middle school in Okoboji, it was right across the street from a strip club and a bunch of bars. I went to Spirit Lake, I didn't go to Okoboji. But if you went to Okoboji, that's what you could expect. But I saw just now that there was a for sale sign in front of the school. So I guess they are relocating the middle school after like 30 years. They're gonna move it out of the way of the strip clubs. So anyway, let's head down to the Arnolds Park Amusement Park. I'm off the bike trail right now. I kind of veered off of it just to see what the strip looked like and what the amusement park looks like. The amusement park is not open yet. I think it might open next week. I'm not sure yet. It might not open for another month. I'm not sure how the pandemic is affecting that. Yeah, you guys are in the vlog. Are you wearing a Hawkeye shirt?
What's up?
Are you wearing a Hawkeye shirt?
No, I can't.
Never mind. I don't think he is. So the bars are open. The bars are open?
What?
The bars are open?
Hell yeah!
Oh, sweet. Dude, all right, so the bars are open. I might have to get a drink later. They can't hear what I'm saying. It's too loud out here. Right here, this is the Central Emporium. This is one of the, it's a very historic shopping mall that's been here for almost 100 years. In fact, there's a ballroom in this thing that big bands in the 1940s, rock bands of the 50s and into the 60s used to play at. But it's a really, really cool building. I've never really seen anything like this before anywhere in the United States, but it's an old shopping mall basically. It's been here, I think, since the 1920s, the 1930s, so it's almost a 100-year-old shopping mall. Let's take a look and see what some of these shops look like, if they're open or not. You see it's a lot of touristy shops, clothing stores, Mama G's, the Okoboji Canning Company. But everything's closed right now. Looks like Brad's Bungalow is open though. Things are getting back to normal hours. There's a lot of great beachwear shops located here in the Central Emporium. Hi.
Hi.
I used to love coming to the Sugar Shack a big candy store that they have here, and unfortunately, oh, we will be opening Saturday. That's good news, so things are starting to open up. Go Hawkeyes, go Cubs. So this used to be, I think, an old ballroom. It's been a number of different restaurants over the years. In fact, back in 2013, I helped install the bar top back when it was a different restaurant. But what's great about this location is it has one of the best views of Westlake Okoboji. You can see all the windows there. You can dine and watch the boats go by. All right, so this is the upstairs of the Central Emporium. Let's check out downstairs. I used to work at Hy-Vee grocery store. That was actually my first job. I was a checker / stocker when I was 16 years old. Wow. It's so quiet here. Again, it's a weekday, and usually Memorial Day weekend is when things start to pick up here in Okoboji. So I don't know how much of this is actually being affected right now by the pandemic versus tourist season just starting to open up. This place, the home of the hermit crab, you can actually get pet hermit crabs inside here. But unfortunately, it's closed. The Animal House, this has also been here for decades. It's another Okoboji clothing store. You can get a number of Okoboji t-shirts, the University of Okoboji. That's where I went to college. Look it up. Majored in tourism and boating. The extra touch for guys. Okay. This used to be a bookstore years ago. And downstairs here is the Gardens, which is a popular bar. This place gets really busy on the weekends. Downstairs, but it looks like the lights are on right now. I do not believe that's open. And another boutique / touristy shop right here at the end. Check out this pineapple shirt. That's pretty much it. This is the Central Emporium. Again, it's a very historic building. I've never seen a mall quite like this. And and I'll have to do some research, or you can look it up yourselves, but I believe it's been here since the 1920s, the 1930s, sometime in the early mid-20th century. But it's awesome. It's a really popular tourist spot. It's fun to shop around here in the summertime, get lake wear. All right, let's head back upstairs. And I think I'll swing by the amusement park and see what it looks like right now. There's the Emporium. And here we have the Arnolds Park Promenade. This is all really new, all of these arches along the pathway. I've heard that Warren Buffett's daughter actually purchased the park here and has helped clean this up and renovate it. It looks really cool right now. None of these arches were here a couple years ago, and I think they light up at night, but this is really beautiful what they've done. This is called the Arnolds Park Promenade. So let's head down towards the amusement park, see what else has changed. Looks like a dead end up here. They've got road construction or some kind of construction going on. There's a parking lot just to the left there. I don't know if they're expanding that or building something new entirely. Well, there's definitely something going on here outside Arnolds Park Amusement Park. There's a lot of construction. This used to be an open field with a massive stage for live concerts. You get people sitting out here in deck chairs, listening and drinking to the music. You can still see there's a large grassy area but it looks like things are changing here outside Arnolds Park. You can see over there the Queen 2 docked on the shores of West Lake Okoboji. The original Queen ship has been out of the picture for a long time now, but the Queen 2 was built, I think, in the 1980s, and since then she has been the main touring ship on the majestic shores of West Lake Okoboji. Right up there you can see the point of no return, the top of the Legend roller coaster. It's been running since 1930. I think it's the 10th or 11th oldest wooden roller coaster in the world. Usually during peak tourist season, there's hundreds of cars driving up and down this strip and around the amusement park. We used to call it cruising the loop as a teenager. Me and my friends would cruise in my mom's minivan, a 97 Ford Windstar. We'd blast Blink-182 music and squeal the tires right here. Times have changed. And here we are, Arnolds Park Amusement Park. This is part of the Legend roller coaster built in 1930. It's actually a John A. Miller designed roller coaster. Very historic, and I believe it's the 10th or 11th oldest in the world. This is one of my favorite roller coasters on Earth. I've ridden this thing hundreds of times. We go way back. I moved it to this region in 1996 and I've been riding this thing ever since. At least a few times every year. And to my right is the roof garden. Now this facility right here is brand new. I don't think they've even opened this yet. I think the grand opening is set for this summer. But the original roof garden, which was located, I believe, at the far end of the street here, was around for a long time. In fact, groups like the Beach Boys and Johnny Cash played at the original roof garden back in the 1950s, 1960s. But this whole strip is filled with tourist shops, clothing stores, ice cream shops. The Nutty Bar stand is a historic ice cream shop at the end of this strip. It looks like everything is currently closed. They're getting ready to open for Memorial Day weekend and into the summer as the pandemic starts to lessen. You can kind of think of this area as like, this is like the main street, you know, Disneyland's Main Street. This is like the main street of Arnolds Park. This is like Arnolds Park Main Street. So you got this nice little strip with shops, some restaurants, some ice cream stands, the lake shore at the end of the street, and then you got the entrance over there to Arnolds Park. It's a very old amusement park, and hopefully they keep fixing it up so it can last for years and decades to come. Well, here's the front entryway to Arnolds Park Amusement Park, the famous Tipsy House. This thing has been around for well over 60 years here at the park, and here's the famous Legend roller coaster. It's been operating since 1930. So these are the front gates. The park is still closed. They're hoping, I just talked to the operations manager, they're hoping to open up the park next weekend. Unfortunately, I won't be here for that. I'm here through Memorial Day weekend, so they're not opening Memorial Day weekend, they're opening the following weekend, so into June. But at least I can kind of at least bike around the park and get some pictures of it today, even though they're not operating. And here they have the ticket pavilion right over here on the other side of Godfather's. Typically you will purchase your admission fees here and then walk through the front gates. They just shut on me. The front gates right here underneath the famous Legend roller coaster tracks and into the theme park. So good to hear that they will be open soon. It's nice to see the pandemic starting to dissipate and things opening up again. And who knows, I might be back here for the 4th of July. So if I'm back here for the 4th of July, I'll make sure to do a vlog here at this historic park. I also wanted to point out the Three Sons. This is not the main shop. The main shop is in Milford, Iowa, which is further along south of Okoboji and Arnolds Park. But the three sons are three brothers that created this t-shirt shop, and they are the ones that created the University of Okoboji. The mascot, the Fighting Phantoms. If you haven't figured out by now, the University of Okoboji is a made-up university. It does not exist. It's an urban legend. It's a local joke, but it's actually stretched nationwide. A lot of people have heard of the University of Okoboji, especially in the Midwest. It even has its own Wikipedia page, so check it out. I like to say I went to the University of Okoboji. The Fighting Phantoms. All right, we're gonna move onward. I also learned back here they are continuing to renovate the park and the surrounding area. They are doing some work on a new pier that will be opening this summer. So a lot of things to come here at Arnolds Park Amusement Park. I'm very happy to see that. This place is such a historic amusement park. I hope it continues to grow and prosper for years to come. I love this place. I will always come back here. So this is the inn here next to Arnolds Park, and this location, this hotel here itself, just opened up last summer. But I wanted to stop here and point this out because the original inn hotel was just demolished a few years ago. It was located further along the lake shores of West Lake Okoboji. But it had been an operating hotel for well over 100 years. It was also a popular place for political rallies. So a lot of presidents and presidential candidates has stayed or at least talked at the inn, the original inn location. This one just opened up again this last summer, and they've got a really cool, almost like a Miami Cuban theme to it. Of course, with a lot of old photographs of the original inn as well. But they have a beach club in here that opened up last summer, and it's got like a Miami Cuban vibe to it. It's really, really cool, and I see that people are in there dining. I'd love to grab a drink right now, but I got a lot more biking to do, and I'm not dressed to go into kind of a fancy cocktail bar in my bike gear, bike shorts and all that. So I'm gonna keep biking, but I will grab a beer at some point today. I see the bars are open. I haven't had a beer at a bar since St. Patrick's Day, so I wanna make that happen for sure.